Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Leadership Void podcast. I'm Enrique with my co host, Vince, to bring you the best in our veteran, military spouse, and first responder community. And Vince will introduce today's guest.
Absolutely. Happy June, everyone, first and foremost. Here we are with Jason Catalina Connor, who are the military relocation experts. They're located in Clearwater, Florida. Welcome, Jason Catalina. Please, let's start off. Tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you for having us.
I appreciate it. We're very happy to be here. Well, I'm Carolina Conner. I'm now serving in the board of directors of the Florida Realtors, and currently here locally, I'm a local association of the Pinellas Realtor Organization and Central Plaza Realtor Organization. So we also have a company as Carolina Conner Construction, and Jason can tell a little bit more about it.
I'm Jason Connor. I'm retired from the Army, 26 years of service. I'm also a realtor and a general contractor licensed in the state of Florida for both of those. Carolina Connor Construction is our business that I'm the licensed contractor for. So we combine our real estate and construction services to best serve our clients in any way that we can.
Outstanding. And now, that construction company, I love the fact that you chose a great name for it, right? Given our guest. But tell us a little bit more about the company itself. How'd you come up with the idea? How you going with it?
I think I can help out with that. So Carolina and I have been licensed with the real estate as realtors for longer than we've had the construction company. Once I retired and we moved here and we started working in real estate, we were doing what a lot of realtors do, starting out doing some open houses. And this one particular house we had done an open house 5 or 6 times. It was on the water. It was beautiful. It was great. Having a good time, seeing dolphins out there every day. But it needed some work. And a lot of the clients that were coming in would say it would take me $300,000-$400,000 in repairs and remodel to get this house the way I wanted. So we had the chance to think about that and say, well, we've got some construction experience. That's my family business, always has been. Why don't I get my license and then we can maybe make money off that remodeling as we sell houses. And so the inventory of houses was pretty good. If you look at today's market for real estate, the inventory is very low. So that business model doesn't work, but that's how we got started, with the idea that we would sell a house, and either before selling the house, we would fix it up to get the best amount of profit we could out of it. Or if somebody bought the house, then we would be there right there for them, knowing their taste and everything. And we could remodel it to their taste after they bought it. It's still a good business model. It's just that the inventory is not there. So we've made some changes and we're still doing those types of activities, but we've expanded to do other services as well. We've started doing metal buildings, steel buildings that can either be garages, commercial buildings for retail, or something that's gaining popularity in Florida is doing the barn dominiums, which is making a steel building in the form of kind of a barn slash house, and then building out the inside for livable space. So that's kind of getting off the ground now, but becoming a lot more popular in Florida. So we do those services, but a lot of the things that we do is just to add to the experience of our real estate business with our clients too.
Amazing. So both realtors, and here you are, kind of like have your own show, right? Construction show, remodeling a steel frame, which is interesting, so thank you for sharing that. Barn style, that's pretty cool. I love hearing about that. So you all pivoted and adjusted and transitioned there. Yep. So how did the pandemic either influence or impacted your company?
It really had a significant impact as far as getting started. So I received a letter in the mail that my license for construction had been approved. I got the certificate, showed everything to Carolina. We did a little celebration, and then a few days later, we had COVID lockdowns. So it takes a lot of money to run a construction business, and we knew that going in, with the help of the program that we did at the Hillsborough Community College, which was the
Strive.
The Strive. It's kind of teaches you to do a small startup, not spend as much money. If you look at a lot of construction companies, you got construction companies that have bulldozers, boom lifts, giant trucks. There's a lot of money that goes into that, but then there's a good return on it too. So not really knowing exactly how we were going to manage that, the small startup helped us out because we weren't spending a large amount of money. We were just doing the services that we could do without having a lot of equipment in our inventory. And so as soon as it come out, we said, well, we're not going to do anything. We didn't do any work really for almost a year, just to kind of see how things would shake out. And I think that was a good decision on our part. We spent more time with the kids, and it was an adjustment getting them to school and back when school finally started, and then having to take days where you knew you were going to have to go pick them up because the school would say there's somebody in the class that has been infected, and you might have to have your kids home. So it was just not a good time for us to start the business. But while we were not doing the work, we were still preparing ourselves, using our house as a lab, doing more remodeling work in our own house, and getting it going that way. So even though we weren't interacting with clients and get busy that way, we were still trying to improve ourselves and how we were going to improve our services once we get started.
I think if I want to add something is definitely the mentality of the military individuals is always have plan A, B, C, D, and it's something that'll happen and you are ready to mentally say, what else can I do to improve myself, to get better? And thankfully, the state of Florida, it was still open for business. So even though a lot of people were not able to travel, but we were able to do some virtual showings. Mm-hmm. So it's still real estate was going, and that's why we're still able to provide services. So thankfully, the mentality, the be positive, have that capacity to see what else we could do in between that help us to stay engaged and still alive with the company.
Well, it seems like the good old adapt and overcome came into play and saved the day. So I'm so happy to hear that you took some of that military training and mentality forward now. So what's on the horizon for your company now that we're on this other side, clearing out a little from COVID?
Sure. So, growth is always what you want in a construction company. And right now it's just us. We've had employees, and there's a time for everything. There's time for employees. We had plenty of work before we needed employees and subcontractors. We scaled back a little bit, specifically just for the summer. And what we're going to do is not necessarily a hard reset, but we're just coming back and saying, okay, the things that we wanted to do before, it didn't seem like it was going to be achievable because of pandemic causes and everything. It seems like on the horizon, it may be what we're going to do. So we're going to try to do some growth. We want to stay in the remodeling business, but the main thing we want to do is start building homes, not just remodeling them, but we want our bread and butter to be the custom home business in the future. But that also is going to take just time. I mean, there's no way that you can just start a custom home business from scratch. You got to have the engineer, you got to have the designer, you got to have the property. So, you really need a showroom for all that kind of stuff. So that's our goal. Start building houses, get to the custom home level, and then stay in there and keeping it going from there.
Yeah, we wish you the best, going from remodeling to doing custom built homes. And it needs a team, right, to have all those individual parts working together. Now, you talk about growth. So let's talk about professional growth. Let's talk about leadership growth. What do each of you do on your spare time that aids you to thrive in your professional life?
Well, from my end, I'm always connected in the community. Being a military spouse for so many years, just always look for resources And part of my background has been in human resources as well, work with talent acquisition, recruiting, mentoring, and it's my passion. So it's helping others just not only look how we can improve ourselves and be better every day, but what you can provide to the community where you live. So that's part of additional services I provide to my clients. Most of my clients are very nice, of course, because I love them. I've been there when you move and relocate so many times. So I believe that the additional value that you have in the real estate is when you know somebody that can provide additional resources in the community, how you get connected, how you know other employers, the school system, how they work. We had to relearn everything because when we move, you sometimes assume that's the same thing that we come in over the last tourist station. So it's kind of relearning the process, accelerating at the same time. And I'm just always connected. I'm currently participating in the Leadership Academy through the Florida Realtors. And I'm just proud to be able to excel every day, provide more for my community, additional resources for my clients, and volunteer as much as I can. Currently also working as volunteer with the Hispanic Professional Women Association and with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce here in Pinellas County. So it's always, I believe that if we can do this together, it's better and easier, and we don't need to recreate the wheel. I mean, we all have different superpowers and skills. So why not? So we can do better together.
She's very busy, as you can tell. So in the past, when I was in the military, I was working on kind of a strategic level, if you want to put it that way. And Carolina was down in the mud with the community and being hyper local with people. And that's kind of changed now because she's out doing the things with the Florida Realtors, with the local Realtors Board, the Hispanic Chamber. Now she's at the strategic level for our business and for our family. And so that's kind of reversed the role. I'm out driving around in the golf cart and, around town and shaking people's hands and getting to know people one-on-one. And that's been I guess that's kind of a change for us. We can kind of switch roles, and that means I have to go pick up the kids more often than she does. So that's okay. I mean, that's the kind of things that you have to expect if you're going to work together with each other, or you're supporting each other in each other's business. Things that you may have done in the past that were typical roles for you may have to switch them around a little bit so that everybody can get done what they need to do.
Well, it sounds like you guys have not only developed great skills growing through the military process, but now being able to switch roles, kind of have each other's back and heart in mind when it comes to adapting and overcoming. Here we go with that again. But it's so nice to see that you've taken a wholehearted approach at not only educating yourself and getting yourself up to par so that you can succeed, but also including, the community, which is great. That is usually where we get our bread and butter. So good on you for doing that. Now, throughout your time, both as a military spouse, both as a veteran, a military member, you've undoubtedly come across some great advice from someone. And you said, hey, I'm going to take that and I'm going to pass that on to somebody coming along. And so, what would you tell an emerging leader today, something that you learned that helped you out?
I can say from my end that just we always want to do everything perfect, and it's nothing perfect out there in business. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're learning, just doing it. Don't think too much. If you fail, it's okay. It's a recovery. It's like the kids, the babies, they start learning. I was reading an article a couple days ago. So what about if we all as adults had the mentality of little kids when they're learning how to walk? And that's true. The kids don't understand that, okay, I just failed, like it's a bad thing. No, they just keep walking. They keep trying and keep trying again until they start walking. So it's the same thing. I think we don't know everything, and it's okay to say sometimes I don't know. But I can find somebody that can give you the answer or can push you in the right direction. So it's always learning, and I think have that open mind and that mentality that, hey, we're gonna overcome this and we're gonna keep moving and we learn about this mistake. It's not gonna happen again. And then we wanna improve. We wanna go to when we definitely had the goal in mind. We wanna get there. So
I had a mentor that said something very simple, but once you get into the business world, it'll make sense. He said, who is doing the study? So whenever you're doing research about your business or you want to do research about how to become better at something, you really need to look at who did the study of how to be better at something. Because if it's somebody that is trying to convince you that their way is the best because it's beneficial for them, then maybe that study isn't the one that you need at that moment in your life. If you're a big cereal company, you want to tell people that eating cereal is healthy. But there's plenty of us that will probably disagree with that because of the sugar content. And that's what he was getting at. So, be careful about who's telling you what to do to be successful, because it may not be in your best interest. And all that means is you just got to take a minute and do a little bit of research about the research that you're looking at. This potentially could help you. And if you don't, then that could lead to some failures.
So basically, I'm hearing a lot of great pearls of wisdom here. Carolina talked about being open-minded, be okay for not knowing everything, and turn to your network, to your relationships for that. And I heard who is doing the study from Jason, right? You do a great analogy with the cereal, because that's so true. But understand, these are great pearls of wisdom, folks. And now let's dive into challenges. And what do you all do in your business when you face challenges, either you faced or you're currently facing?
Sometimes you got to cry, let it out. But really, it's just a matter of being persistent every day, getting up, getting out there, putting your shoes on. Don't let it get you down, because it will. And keep going, but do the things that you enjoy. Because if you're not enjoying some of your life, then working to the end just doesn't make any sense. So have fun, enjoy the time that you're not working. And when you're working, try to enjoy that too. If you're not enjoying it, then think about maybe doing something else.
so true. That's being positive. Have that mindset that, okay, this didn't go exactly what I wanted, but I know I can do certain twist and I'm gonna get there. So be persistent, have a really good, we actually develop resiliency through the military, right? So using that resiliency, that positiveness to get things better every day.
Well, resiliency is definitely key to a long sustainment, right? Going through some trials and going through some tribulations and still getting to the goal, which in business you'll see them, right? It's going to come your way, as well as challenges, times of change, right? We've seen plenty of time of change for the last 2.5 years almost, and we will continue to see times of change. But how do you strategize around those times of change?
So strategize for times of change. I don't know that there's a method that we use that we're expecting to use it, because you want some in business, you want some consistency, you want to have that. And if the market is not being consistent, I'm not sure, that might be a time for a discussion. Like, maybe the change is you need a different business if the business isn't being consistent, because you're going to need some type of consistency so that you have something to support your new business. If you're going to grow, then you got to have something to grow off of. So if there's no consistency there, then that would be the first part of your strategy to say, okay, well, maybe this isn't exactly working, and you do have to make a shift. But gaining some consistency is number one. Number two, you can't go out there and think that you're going to do every job the same way in business. It's not like the military. The military, who's the military's customer? The military's customer is always just the defense of the country, so that means we're going to do a lot of the same things over and over again without having to provide a product. But in business, you have to provide a product. So the military's business should be the end result, winning a conflict, but we don't always do that. But in business, you have to succeed at what you're doing in order to continue on. So you've got to find something a way in your system that provides you with some success, not every single time, but for most of the events that you do, because those successes built up means total success for the company and make up for your failures too.
I want to add something. Definitely is continuous improvement every day on your profession. If you are doing real estate, you definitely have to know what you're doing. And the best way that you can show that you know what you're doing is be as professional as you are. So investing time in learning what is in your market, what's going on, what you can provide value to your clients. We have a really good network in here and resources that we can allocate to our service members and veterans. So just be every day more professional. We have in our industry different designations. I've always look at what I can improve or get better. So I'm a military relocation professional and I have a lot of different designations. I'm being studied. So in that way, when something comes up, I'll be able to provide that services, provide any advice, better advice to my clients. And then at the same time, they can make educated decisions about the investments, because it is a big thing. If you're going to buy a house, or you're going to invest in a second home, or you're going to relocate, you're going to make sure that the investment is going to be fruitful. So definitely you're going to make additional income, or you want to make income in that investment. So.
No, absolutely. You all have the great knowledge, Leadership Academy, the Chamber of Commerce, Carolina strategically, and we have Mr. Golf Court and Mr. Jason okay, shaking hands. And speaking of shaking hands, how do folks get a hold of either one of you or your company?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, you can follow us on carolinaconner.com. I say Conner, Conner. I had to spell it, and it's his fault all the time. They misspell our last name. So carolinaconner.com. You can find us as Carolina Conner Construction. You can find us on Instagram too, Carolina Conner Florida. And then
I'm Jason Conner 727 on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook, Jason Conner Real Estate Advisor.
And always a call is great. It's the best because we can get connected easily. You can text us or call us 727-201-2172.
And I'm 727-509-9725.
Outstanding. And we'll have that as part of the show notes and the video so that they can get a hold of you. Folks, if you're interested in getting hold of the Leadership Void, the Leadership Void at gmail.com is where you'll send that correspondence. But I'll tell you that we are looking for any guests or any topics that you would like for us to cover on the leadership spectrum. We'll be happy to do that. But today, Carolina Conner Construction, the dynamic duo from Clearwater are our guests, and we're so happy to have had you today.
We've really enjoyed it. And if you or your guests, maybe you don't want to move down here, you just want to come visit. It's one of the greatest places to visit. Look us up. If you're wondering where to go or whatever, that's something we specialize in too, because we like to have fun. We know all the good spots.
Absolutely. Yes. We're definitely going to take you up on that. And a couple other things we want to tell our audience. We do radio check, an opportunity to talk to our first responders and military community on the 1st and the 15th, 1900, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On LinkedIn Live, it's time for us to just build our community in a safe space. So hopefully see you on Radio Check the 1st and the 15th. Our subscription drive is almost at our 200 number. All we need is a few more folks. Please hit like, subscribe on our YouTube channel, The Leadership Void. You enter into the drawing to win this wonderful book by Scott McGregor. It's the Standing O edition, the Salute edition, military edition, sorry, Standing O. So please subscribe and like us there. Everything's possible from the home team of Round Point Mortgage Servicing Corporation. We thank you for our sponsors. But today, the dynamic duo, as Enrique mentioned, is here, Carolina and Jason. Thank you so much for being here and doing great things in the community, and have a great day.
Thank you,
Carolina Connor
Vince.
Construction, get on
Thank
board the
you.
lifestyle you deserve.